How's it going, everybody? We are back again for another Dokkan battle video. And alright, so I said I would make this video a few days ago, so here we are. Let's talk about this whole debate about who is better between LR Super Gogeta and LR Super VEGITO. Now, I did make a little post talking about how I think they are the same unit, or at least tied, excuse me. I don't think they're the same unit. I just think that in terms of, tier ranking, they share the third place for both, for the best units in the game. Obviously, I do believe LR UI Goku and Blue Evolution Vegeta are better than them, but I do not believe any one of them, VEGITO or Gogeta, is better than the other, for a number of different reasons, right? So I'm going to break down everything as quickly as I can for you guys, because I do want to get to the whole bottom of this, and I do want to explain my reasoning for everything, right? Just like a lot of people, we're at 2,100 and counting right now since I posted this, about, a lot of you are either agreeing with me, and then also a lot of you are disagreeing with me, saying Gogeta is so much better, which I'm going to tell you he's not so much better, for a number of different reasons, alright? So let's quickly break this down, right? So starting off with VEGITO. Number one, better leader skill. Obviously, I think that goes without saying. VEGITO easily wins in terms of leader skill. Battle of Wits is just basically another Batara team. All the Vegitos are on there with a couple of extra units as well. Majin Buu Saga remains literally as one of the best, teams in the entire game. I think it's easily a top 5 category without question. But we take a quick look at Gogeta's leader skill. Connected Hope is bad. Gogeta definitely buffs this category, but he does not save this category, unfortunately. Time Limit is definitely a new cool category. It has a lot of the different fusion units on there, but we'll need to see some more gameplay of it before I put a final vote down. But Connected Hope, I mean, Gogeta should have been the movie hero, another movie hero leader. Movie Heroes has been in desperate need of another leader for such a long time now, but unfortunately he is not, and therefore VEGITO wins in terms of leader skill. Better Ki gain ability. I do really like VEGITO's Ki gaining ability, which is plus an additional Ki plus 1 per Ki Spear obtained, which is the same mechanic that LR in Super Saiyan 2 Gohan has. It is by far the best out of all the mechanics of gaining Ki, in my personal opinion, especially for LRs. No matter what type of Ki Spear it is, you are gaining extra Ki for obtaining this. So even though VEGITO is an SCR unit, if you gave him 5, if you give him 5 AGL Ki Spears, that's 10 Ki right there, basically. That's, as a prime example. It's nuts. I absolutely adore this ability. Let's look at Gogeta for an example. Gogeta has this ability where he does make his own Rainbow Ki Spears, which is really nice. I do like that a lot. Okay, I like the fact that Gogeta does have Rainbow Ki Spear ability. He generates his own orbs. That's fantastic. However, Gogeta needs those Rainbow Ki Spears to gain extra Ki. Ki plus 2 in addition to per Rainbow Ki Spear obtained. Now, most of the time, yes, you will not be struggling for Ki for this unit. Alright, more than often than not, you will only need like 1 or 2 Rainbow Ki Spears to give him his full 24 Ki or whatever. This unit has plenty of Ki links. He's giving himself 5 Ki off the rip just from his passive and everything. That's fantastic, okay? The problem that I have, okay, with this ability, passive saying Ki plus 2 in addition per Rainbow Ki Spear, is the fact that he fights for Ki with other units, especially on his 2 main teams of Fusion and Movie Heroes. I mean, we could take a quick look. Some of the main different units that are on those teams also need Rainbow Ki Spears. Now, I mean, you just give me a second here.
10 seconds later.
Alright, so let's look at Fusion, alright? Obviously his most important team. Fusion, the physical LR Super Gogeta, LR Goku and Vegeta Angel that transform into Super Gogeta. They also have the same Rainbow Ki Spear consumption mechanic, where they need Rainbow Ki Spears to gain extra Ki. They do not have any extra built-in Ki, like the Tech Gogeta does, so therefore, they need the Rainbow Ki Spears as well, right? Another prime example would be this guy right here. the Int Super Gogeta. He needs 3 Rainbow Key Spears to activate his full passive. 3 Rainbow Key Spears to activate his full passive. That's another unit going to be running a lot on these teams, of course, and therefore he needs it. Now, it is, like I said, it is extremely beneficial that he is generating Rainbow Key Spears. Fusion and Movie Heroes desperately needed a good Rainbow Key Spear changer, but like I said, now this is just another unit on those teams that is fighting for Rainbow Key Spears. It randomly changes Key Spears of a certain type to Rainbow Key Spears. That's great, yes. Okay, that's make no mistake. But if he had the same key type mechanic that Vegito does, where it's any type of Key Spears and not Rainbow, I would have felt so much better. Let's look at Movie Heroes really quickly. LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, a prime example. He is a nuking unit, and therefore, you want to give him a lot of orbs. Rainbow Key Spears definitely help with said orbs, right? You know, that's another unit. LR AGL Super Saiyan Goku is a prime example of that mechanic as well. You know, he generates his own Rainbow Key Spears, great, but then he too also needs those Rainbow Key Spears. So again, you're going to be fighting for those Rainbow Key Spears. Now, yes, of course, running dual, you know, Gogetas, for example, is definitely going to help. But you're not going to see Gogeta until, number one, you're not going to see Gogeta until turn 4, best case scenario. And then, you know, if we take a look at Goku and Vegeta Angel as a prime example, they is not guaranteed. No. High chance of randomly changing Key Spears. They only have a 50% chance of changing orbs into Rainbow Key Spears, right? So, you know, for those first 4 to 5 turns, of course, you're going to be fighting for key and whatnot. You know, it's like, you see what I'm trying to say here? I'm not saying it's a bad ability. My point is I just hate the fact that we have yet another unit on these teams that needs Rainbow Key Spears, okay? That's the whole point that I'm trying to make with this, right? So that's like my biggest niche when it comes to that ability. So let's take another look. Counter ability. So this is the main argument that a lot of people do not like when it comes to STR Vegito, because obviously this is what's holding him up. If Vegito did not counter and had something else, then there's no doubt in my mind Gogeta would be better. But you need to keep in mind, Gogeta, you look at Gogeta's passive, this is so much bigger than Vegito's passive right here. It's by a landslide a lot bigger. But here's the thing, Vegito has counters, okay? And you guys need to understand that counters are just so damn powerful. And in particular, crit counters are extremely powerful, alright? He can easily take down an entire boss by himself just by doing the counter mechanic. He doesn't even need the super attack before you get the counters off and everything. Extreme Super Battle Road, this is basically a guarantee win. Once you get Vegito out in the field and he starts countering everybody, it's basically GG by then. Now, a lot of people, from what I've seen from my posts and whatnot, is that saying, oh, you know, whatchamacallit, Vegeta has no defense whatsoever. Here, let's take a look at this guy. Like I said, I'm not trying to, you know, point anybody out in particular. I'm just, you know, pointing out some random stuff. More damage, but in the hardest stages of the game where it matters the most to be a defensive wall, he would get completely washed. He takes no less than 100k in the God event type neutral when you bring Gogeta in there, and he will straight up outperform him, and you want to die as soon as 2 counters. Okay, that's the argument that a lot of people are making in terms of Vegito's defense. Let me make this abundantly clear and simple. Vegito does not have garbage defense, okay? I'm not obviously going to show you right now, but probably once I'm done editing the video, I will put a clip on the screen of either myself or another YouTuber or both taking Vegito through different types of events. Here's the thing with Vegito. All you need to do is let him super attack first. He raises his attack and defense for 1 turn, post his super attack. So in the situation where Vegito can super attack first and then counter, you'll be fine. Okay, that's the best part. That's the magic of it all. I know it's crazy to believe that. Okay, and like, let's take him through. Like, I don't know which clips I'm gonna be using, right? But like, As long as you let him defend a super attack first, then his counters are going to be fine. And then it's like, oh, if Vegito takes a super attack, well, here's the thing. You shouldn't be letting him take a super attack in the first place. You want to know why? Because of this ability right here, folks. Foresees enemy super attacks for 10 turns from the start of turn. Gogeta only gives you 5 turns. So a lot of you were bringing up the fact that, oh, he's not going to do well against like GT, this GT legendary Goku event because he'll get one shot by super attacks. Well, that's why you don't let him get hit by the super attack. If you know that where the super attack is coming, then you shouldn't have to put him there. It's like, it is so simple and mind-boggling. It drives me insane. And everything like that's the point that I'm trying to make. You should not be putting him in front of a super attack, okay? That's the whole thing. We know Vegito's not a defensive god. He hits around 180 to maybe 200,000 defense at most, right? If he gets a double super, then yeah, he'll be around 200k defense, roughly around there, which is more than enough defense to be double digits for most events in the entire game, including the GT Legendary Goku event, which is obviously more than enough. Can he tank a super attack? No, he cannot. I will openly agree with you all. He cannot take a super attack, but therefore, by rights, he shouldn't have to, okay? Because you can see where the super attacks are coming, and therefore, you should not have to put him in harm's way. Put a more defensive unit in front of him. It's that simple, folks. Therefore, like I mentioned in my post, these two are really meant to work together. Put Gogeta in front of the way. Gogeta is a far more defensive unit than Vegito is. However, Gogeta cannot match up to Vegito's offensive capabilities because of the counter mechanic. Yes, Gogeta does have super effective against all types and whatnot. He does have the same super attack scene effect and all that. That's great. But here's where we draw the line, folks. Okay, Vegito gets a super attack scene effect and the extra key and whatnot for 10 turns, which is going to be more than enough. So turn 4, when you transform into Super Vegito, right? That's turn 4. 10 plus turns after that, you're looking at turn 14. That's where you should be wrapping up the event by, okay? If you're taking your sweet time, that's your thing, all right? But otherwise, if you're going for a super serious run, turn 14, 15, that's when you should be wrapping up the event, okay? Gogeta only gets 5 turns, so you really need to sit down and think about, okay, I have 5 turns from the time that I transform Goku and Vegeta into Super Gogeta, and therefore I get this extra key and this damage reduction and the 5 turns super attack scene effect. Otherwise, that's it. And then also you need to keep in mind too, once he loses that after 5 turns, the damage reduction, this is why people love Gogeta more, is because, oh, he's a defensive god because he keeps his damage reduction. Yes, that's fantastic that he keeps his damage reduction, but guess what? That's for 5 turns right there. You still have the rest of the event. By then, for a lot of people's runs, you're hitting in Super Saiyan 4 Goku, in Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you're hitting full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku as prime examples during the GT LGD, for example. Then he loses all that extra defense, and then you're stuck at 150%, the same buff that Vegito gets, and he also has the same buff that he gets on super attack. However, Gogeta does win the super attack effect because he also lowers enemies' attack and defense. I do really like that a lot. I did give Gogeta the win off that. So, yes, he is a better defensive unit, but he does lose that extra defense. I have to make that abundantly clear. He does not keep it for the entire fight, okay? I have to make that clear to you all. But otherwise, you guys are making it sound like Vegito has, Tech Broly level defense, and I'm here to tell you he's not. He's the furthest thing from a non-defensive unit. Okay, yes, he's not a Tech Ultimate Gohan level defensive monster, but neither is Gogeta. Okay, neither is Gogeta. Let's make that abundantly clear. Gogeta does not have Tech Ultimate Gohan levels of defense. Okay, oh my God, it's ridiculous. So like that's the whole that's like the whole point. Then let's take a look at some of the other things he said. Gogeta makes his own key. It will be consistent in terms of how much Rainbow Orbs he makes, but that ability is a lot more valuable than getting 2 key per orb, since Rainbow Orbs open up a lot more orb routes. that's a debatable argument. I do like the point you're making, but at the same time, I also disagree with that because, you know, if you're playing around with the orbs a lot, more often than not, you're going to be having a lot of the same type key spheres. Even if you keep 3 of the same type key spheres, that's 6 extra key right there. Okay, that's 6 extra key, which is more than enough for, you know, like Super Vegito or Gogeta, who basically already start out with like 12 key anyway. There you go, 6 extra key, have your 18 key super attack. You know, that's it. And then let's talk about some more stuff that I mentioned, right? So obviously I talked about better offense and his counters. Better fusion requirements. A lot of people were talking about this one. So I'm trying to make. Let's see. Wow, that was awful. Okay, so let's let's restart here. So their fusion mechanics, right? Oh, I just looked on the wrong thing. Give me a second here.
A few moments later.
So their fusion mechanics, right? Their requirements for them to transform into Vegito and Gogeta. They have the different ones. Vegito, on turn 4, if your HP is 77% or less, you can then fuse, get all your health back, and transform into Vegito. These guys, the new Tet Goku and Vegeta Angel, turn 4, you need to be above 70%. Now, that is good, but it's also bad for a lot of situations, right? Like, I like Vegito's more because this is a lot more manageable in harder difficulty events, such as the God of Destruction event, which is about to come out on Global. Extreme Super Battle Road is another prime example. Even the GT Legendary Goku event, you can easily get caught off guard by, you know, a super attack from like that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a prime example. You know, it's a lot more manageable, and it's a free heal. It's a free heal right here where it says recovers 50% HP. That's basically that's half your health bar, and you only, even if you're below, even if you're at 76%, you're healing all of that back. You know, it's really that simple. That's why I like it. I like it a lot more for a lot of harder and difficulty events. Now, obviously, yes, you can run into situations where you're doing really good and you're maintaining above 70% HP, and therefore this active skill condition is better for them to transform into Super Gogeta. But that's the reason why I particularly like Vegito's, because even if you mess up, you're still getting rewarded, because then you can get the free heal off and then transform into Vegito. You know, it's really debatable about how you look at it. It's very situational based. You can go either route is perfectly fine, either maintaining 70% HP or above, or, you know, what you would call it, being below. And especially if you put these two on the same teams, which, by the way, they share a lot of teams together. Pure Saiyans, Joint Forces, Super Saiyans, Kamehameha, Final Trump Card, they share all those teams with each other. So, say for example, you fall below 70% HP from turn 4. Transform into Super Vegito first, you get the full heal off, then you get transform into Super Gogeta because you are above 70% HP. They work so well together. They are meant to be run together. Literally, I cannot say that enough. They are meant to be run together. Let's take a quick look at a few more things. I've already talked about incoming super attacks and the extra 5 key. Yes, loses damage reduction. Defense I already talked about in his cons. Yes, I already talked about the super attack effect. He doesn't make orbs. Let's talk about Gogeta's cons. So I already talked about Rainbow Key Spears and how that stuff. Offense is good. Make no mistake, Gogeta can hit some insane levels of attack. You know, 4, 5, 6, 7 million on any given one of his turns and whatnot. He keeps his damage reduction extra key for super attack, but that's only for 5 turns. Now, Super Battle Road situations, of course, that's not going to matter right now. If you have Gogeta on the field on extreme Super Battle Road situations, you win. Basically, it's that simple. But here's also one of the other mechanics, right, that Gogeta has. It's a brand new mechanic into the game. We've never seen something like this before. Nullifies enemies' melee super attacks within the same turn after performing an ultra super attack on that enemy. So, number one, you are never, ever going to see this in Super Battle Road situations, okay? Okay, let's make this abundantly clear. Turn 4 is when you can see Gogeta, right? Then if you stay above 70% HP, you can fuse and then transform into Gogeta. By then, turn 4, you should be wrapping up that fight. And if Gogeta comes out on the field, Gogeta will win the fight for you. It's that simple. Okay, so that completely disregards that a whole passive right then and there. But if you're doing longer events, here's the thing though. Okay, very little, and I mean very little enemy types in the game have melee super attacks. Very few. I know AGL Super Saiyan Blue Goku in the regular Legendary Goku event, he has a physical melee attack. Cool. I know, I believe Int UI Goku's melee counts, yes. But, however, Gogeta needs to super attack them first. Okay, he needs to super attack first. And in some situations, if, like, say, UI Goku super attacks first before anybody attacks, well then you're screwed because he won't be able to nullify it and everything. So this is so situationally bad, you can't even count it in most situations. Yes, it's cool, but you are never, ever going to see that mechanic. Ever. I'm here to tell you. Okay? So that you can literally disregard that portion of his ability. And that's really it. You know, like I said, I'm not saying that any one of them is better than the other. Gogeta has a lot going for him. Better super attack effects, he's making rainbow orbs, super effective against all types, still remains broken as ever. Better defense, obviously, giving himself a higher crit chance. I didn't even talk about that. Vegito only gives himself built-in 30% crit. Gogeta gives himself 70% a chance to crit on top of super effective against all types, which is really, really nice. Okay, I'm not gonna give, slouch that or anything like that, but that is a really nice ability to have, of course. But like I said, I don't like a lot of Gogeta's kit at the same time, and people really just don't like the only reason that all the reasons that I see here is the fact that why people think that Gogeta is better than Vegito is because of his defense. Literally, that's the only reason why people think that Gogeta is so much better. Again, I need to make it abundantly clear. Vegito has defense. If you super attack first with Vegito, he will be fine. And also because of the fact that you're seeing super attacks for 10 turns with Vegito, and therefore he shouldn't have to tank a super attack in those situations. Now, there's only 1 or 2 situations or bosses, like I know in the God of Destruction event, I believe there's AGL Belmont. He's one of the last God of Destructions, and I believe he's also the toughest God of Destruction in that event, and he super attacks multiple times in a turn. Most of the time, he super attacks at the very beginning of the return, and then more towards the end of the turn, right? So more often than not, you may want to keep Vegito as just Goku and Vegeta to keep that 30% damage reduction. That is fine, okay? But like, he's facing an AGL type enemy, which is not really good for STR type units to begin with. So yeah, Gogeta is obviously going to have the advantage over a tech. As a tech type unit, obviously Gogeta is going to have a higher, and a better chance of beating him versus an STR unit. It's just, that's how it works, obviously. So, like, there's that. But otherwise, like I said, you are seeing super attacks for 10 turns, and therefore you shouldn't have to put Vegito with, in harm's way in front of the super attack. You can, and if, you have other defensive, more defensive options to put in front of this SDR Vegito. It's really that simple. Yeah, I cannot make that clear. And then also, like, oh, he can't tank GT full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku's full-on attack, or anything like that, right? Okay, well, once that damage reduction goes away, neither can Gogeta. He's still taking a lot of damage too. I mean, hello, like, it's that simple because he only keeps it for 5 turns. It's that simple. So like I said, in conclusion, I don't think any one of them is better than the other. I believe they are literally meant to go hand in hand with one another. You know, like I've been telling this the entire video. In the areas that Vegito struggles, such as defense is a prime example, Gogeta will make up for it and vice versa. Gogeta semi struggles with for damage, but not really. But Vegito's counters and everything completely outshine him in terms of offense, and therefore making up for that. Each unit has an up or down. There is no definitive winner, and if I were to rank them, I would place them as third place for both units. I do not think any one of them is better than the other. That is my personal opinion. That is my stretched out opinion. I know a lot of you guys may disagree with me or whatever, but yeah, like, this is my personal opinion. Of course, you know, if you want to disagree with me, which you know, it seems like a lot of you do, but again, my personal opinion, I don't think any one of them is better than the other. Gogeta is not hands down better than Vegito is. I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you, but that's just not how it works. You know, but again, my personal opinion, you're free to disagree with me if you want. I've wasted like 20 minutes of your life if you've been watching it from there, talking about this, so I do apologize for that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.
I have spoken.